Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday, and we have one scheduled to drop this upcoming Sunday. So be sure to meander over to our website and check out our online content. If it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available on 10 different podcast platforms for your listening leisure, and we've provided you with the links in the description down below. Now, as is the convention, definitely be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like our conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les meufs et les mecs. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And this week, our topic of discussion is mental wellness. Today's segment is going to be a continuation from our conversation that we started on Tuesday. And if you weren't part of that discussion, definitely be sure to check out the card that I've left here on the screen to watch and to engage, because our discussion on mental health this week really talks about our dynamic and the beliefs that we have surrounding pain. And I am someone who believes that pain can be with a purpose, and pain can also be very pointless. And so my first video this week was talking about pain that served a purpose, the kind of pain that will help us to condition ourselves, the kind of pain that will help us to develop, and the type of pain that will help us to transform and really tap into our potential. And this video talks about the pain that I believe personally is pointless. Now, because we're talking about sort of the toxic nature of pain in this video, I decided that I'm going to inject some comic relief just to make this video less of a rant, because I find that whenever I talk about things that are a pain point for me, they can be a little bit on the rant side. So I thought I would make this a little bit funnier, although it's still serious. So these are still areas that I believe that pain is very toxic and pain really does not serve a purpose. And if it is the case that we find that we are in cycles where we are experiencing pain and it falls into any of these 3 categories that I'm going to be referencing in this video, then we should disengage immediately and move away from it. I've done enough of a preamble to jump right into this segment. And again, so 3 types of pain that I believe are pointless. They don't serve any purpose and they don't help us to tap into our potential or align to our highest selves. Now, the first kind of pain that I feel aligns to this definition is what I call destructive pain. And I think destructive pain can be anything that we recognize really doesn't serve a higher purpose. It doesn't support our growth. It doesn't support us stepping into like a new reality. And more specifically, this is the kind of pain that breaks you down for no reason. So this is the kind of pain that constantly is beating at you, is battering at you. It's breaking down your self-confidence, is breaking down your self-esteem, is breaking down your sense of your ability to navigate and to be successful in the world around you. And I think that this is the kind of pain that is destructive. And there's so many different ways that destructive pain translates, and I'm trying to be comprehensive, but I don't think I can be entirely comprehensive. I think we all need to think about just areas in our life where we're experiencing pain. And again, pain is on a spectrum. So pain can be mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual pain. And we feel each of those equally acutely. And we need to just recognize, like, to what purpose is this pain serving me exactly? And some of it is pain in relation to fear. And I believe that we're a nation, and I don't even know if this is just a North American thing or if it's become global just based on access to what is displayed on the media. But we have like this fascination with people facing their fears. And I think that this is a kind of pain or discomfort that we subject ourselves to that often be very pointless. There's some kind of fears that are healthy, right? And I remember I was watching something, and I think this is part of why I even decided to do these videos. But it was a man who came from a metropolitan area who decided he wanted to face his fear of the Amazon. Now, he did not live anywhere near the Amazon. In fact, he took a flight that would take him several hours to get to the Amazon, had never had prior experience navigating the Amazon, but he felt he was going to conquer his fear. I'm watching him and I'm thinking to myself, well, what is the point of this? Like, first of all, you don't even have the skills required to navigate the Amazon. Like, you've never done it before. And second point that I thought to myself was, there is a reason to be afraid of the Amazon. I mean, the Amazon, there are so many different natural ways of just dying, right? Like, the elements can definitely be to your detriment, especially if you don't know how to navigate that environment. And like, why is this the pain that you feel inclined to conquer when you live in a metropolitan area? It's like you're subjecting yourself to this suffering, to this discomfort for what end, right? And I think about even the reason why a fear of the Amazon would even manifest itself. And I'm thinking, maybe psychological trauma from all of your ancestors that either witnessed a loved one get mauled by the elements or, someone that they cared about. I mean, there's a reason why we have certain fears. And I think that, yeah, there are definitely fears that can be debilitating, that can keep us from living full lives. But there are some fears that we need to respect. And if you're going out of your way, out of your day-to-day lifestyle to conquer a fear that has absolutely nothing to do with even how you navigate day-to-day life, you're just kind of doing it for the amusement of others or because you want to satisfy something within yourself that really serves no higher purpose, and this kind of pain is destructive. And this is kind of a funny example, but then it's not funny really, because a lot of us seek out opportunities to conquer a fear that really is not applicable to our day-to-day lives. And I'm thinking, why not just respect that fear exists? I'm sure it's there for a reason, and it's helped the people who came before you survive as long as they did. You know what I'm saying? In any case, that was a bit of a rant. That is why I'm injecting comic relief into this video, because I knew it would get a little bit ranty. But I do believe that destructive pain is pain that we subject ourselves to that serves no ultimate purpose, right? And when we think about purpose, we can have a reason that fundamentally is fairly superficial and shallow. So we want to make sure that there's depth to our reason for why we're subjecting ourselves to certain kinds of pain, to ensure that we're not subjecting ourselves to a destructive pain that serves no purpose and that doesn't help us in the long run. And so the next pain that I do believe serves no purpose, and a pain that I believe is pointless, is avoidable pain. And I think this is pain that, again, can translate across the full spectrum. So pain that we can experience emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and physically. And this is the kind of pain that we, A, may have already been subjected to in the past. B, our intuition is telling us, hey, if we continue forward, this is something that might actually end up not being to our benefit, even if we don't have a real reason as to why. Or C, maybe, we're trying to challenge ourselves, or we're trying to push ourselves beyond our comfort zone, but there's something within us that's telling us maybe this is a little bit too far. And as part of the hindsight review, we think to ourselves that, yeah, that was totally avoidable. And this can be in the relationships we get into, the friendships that we create. It can be a job opportunity that we're deciding whether or not it would be a best fit. If there's any part of you that feels that there's something about this that is going to subject you to pain that could be avoidable down the road, then I'm saying this is the kind of pain that is pointless. There's no reason to subject yourself to these kinds of experiences that debilitate you, and that you're gonna have to work your way through healing to get through it either way, right? And healing takes time, and incurring injury is time wasted as well when it serves no ultimate purpose. And so I've always been someone who has been just naturally very pain adverse, and I like to choose the kind of pain that I involve myself in. And typically I like pain that serves a higher purpose. So pain to do with conditioning, development, or transformation. But if it's pointless, I'm really not about that life. And I'm a millennial baby, so we didn't have all the digital media that we had now. So a lot of the times we made up different different games. And I'm not sure about you and your circles growing up as a child, but a lot of the games that people would make up were like involved pain, right? I remember one of them, like a vivid memory of me deciding that this was pointless and I was absolutely not going to subject myself to it, was like this game Bloody Knuckles. And I'm not sure if you play that game, but it's really where you put your knuckles on the table and then someone chucks a toonie at your knuckles, and if your reflexes aren't fast enough, you would have a toonie dig into your knuckles. I remember I came to the table and when I saw, like, first the table was covered in everyone's blood and people weren't actually having fun. It was really just sort of a battle of the wills. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to engage in this. This is avoidable pain. And of course, like, you could develop an infection. There's so much cross-contamination here. Like, everyone's blood is mixed together. In any case, that is a bit of me getting sidetracked. Getting back to the point, there's kinds of pain that are available to each of us. We can partake in it, but it's avoidable. So just because it's available doesn't mean we should jump into that pool. Sometimes it's better to avoid it. And the last kind of pain, and this is a little bit deep, so I tried to keep this video light touch, even though I feel that these themes are fairly serious. And I think because they're serious and they have translated fairly seriously in each of our lives, and all of us can think about different ways where we've exposed ourselves and subjected ourselves to avoidable pain or to destructive pain. And again, this can be in relationships or different experiences that we have encountered in our lifetime. But the last kind of pain that I feel is really deep-rooted is the pain that comes with self-denial and self-betrayal. And self-denial and self-betrayal happen when we feel inclined to hide who we are in order to satisfy those around us. So in order to meet the needs, expectations of those around us, we feel inclined to hide aspects of ourselves that they disapprove of. And I think that this is the kind of pain that is so detrimental to our sense of well-being. It's so detrimental to our wellness if we constantly carry this shame and this guilt about having this part of ourselves that is alive and thriving, but not with the friendships that you sort of entertain. And I'm here to say, too many of us too late realize that self-denial, self-betrayal only serves to harm us in the long run, right? It's not something that serves us. Denying who we are in order to maintain friendships, maintain relationships, whether they're familial or not, whether, you know, they're to do with a job or a career path or not. I think that the best way for you to align yourself to an opportunity to thrive, to really shine, to bloom, is to just be comfortable being who you are, all of who you are out loud. Any person, any environment, any context that requires you to hide parts of who you are and makes you feel shame for being who you are, whether that's because of your culture, whether that's because of your religion, whatever the case might be, anything that you identify as part of yourself, be proud of that. Like, advocate for it. Don't allow people to silence you or to hide those aspects of you in order for you to belong. And I think that this is something that is so prevalent in so many different societies around the world, where so many people are battling with self-denial and they're dealing with self-betrayal because they feel like they're wronging themselves, but that they have to wrong themselves in order to feel accepted by the groups that they are part of. And I'm here to tell you, like, if you show up for yourself, the right people show up for you. But you need to have the strength, have the courage, have the bravery to do away with self-denial and instead do away with, like, the people who are putting you in that state, in that place. And again, I don't care if they're your family, if they're your friends, who they are to you. If they're causing you to have to hide and feel guilt and feel shame for parts of who you are, then I'm telling you, you will be better off cutting that out of your life. That is pain that can be long lasting. That is a traumatizing pain. It's not a pain that any of us need to incur for any person or to be part of any group. It's never worth it. I say, be who you are out loud, proudly, and advocate for yourself, even if there's no one there to support you or to defend you. You defending yourself is more than enough, I tell you. In any case, that was serious. That was a serious theme. I'm trying to talk about this like smiling and being engaging, but like these for me are like core areas that we experience such deep-rooted pain that is pointless, right? And a lot of us are still carrying this pain into adulthood. We carry this pain even as elderly people. We're still hiding aspects of ourselves. We're like, you know, going to the grave with this shame and with this guilt. And I'm like, why? Like, we do not need to subject ourselves to that kind of harm, right? And I think we need to just advocate for ourselves enough and care enough about ourselves and recognize our worth enough to know that there are people who we can cut out of our lives in order to be who we are out loud and proud, and so that we can advocate for ourselves and enable others who have those aspects of their identity that they're struggling to sort of bring to the forefront. If they see us advocating for ourselves, it gives them the courage and the bravery to do the same, and we can start to pivot this cultural norm that seems to be prevalent in many societies, where we're hiding and feeling shame for aspects of our identity that there is no reason to be ashamed of. So anyways, this is the part 2 of our videos on pain and wellness and the attitudes that we take towards pain that contribute or can be to the detriment of our wellness, and I hope that it's food for thought for you. I tried to keep it light, but honestly, as I edit this video, I wonder how light it's actually going to be. I think it's going to be like very evident that I'm trying to be a light touch about fairly serious themes, and I think that it's easier to talk about like pain that serves a purpose, but it's actually kind of like painful for me to talk about pain that is pointless, because a lot of us are enduring pain that is pointless, and it's hard to be light touch about it, but then it would be a fairly dark video if I was like very foreboding about it. So anyways, I'm doing my best to balance the different sort of attitudes and different ways of engaging and communicating so that this video can be easy to digest. So I guess you can let me know if I succeeded at that, but that's where we're going to end for here. Now, just before you tune out, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So we invite you to join us there. Now, these events are paid events, but if you do see yourself participating on an ongoing basis, then I do recommend that you take a look at one of our membership plans. With our membership plans, you have unlimited access to our live events and also access to our workshops and webinars over and above these live events. And the focus is cultivating the critical thinking and the life skills required to derive more meaning and fulfillment out of life. So if that is something that is of interest to you, join our #GameChanger community, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Talk to you later. See you in the next video.